My name's Laurence Smith and I'm a researcher at SLU and also work at the University of Reading in the UK. And I'm co-coordinating the Pathways project together with Professor Harry Block, who's here at SLU. Moving towards sustainable food systems has been highlighted as one of the greatest challenges that humanity has ever faced. And it's partly because we've got this sort of wicked problem of having a growing population at the same time as having a sort of declining resource base. And so addressing this issue is one of the sort of fundamental challenges for society. But we think that research has a fundamental role to play in sort of identifying solution spaces for policy and that can allow us to avoid unintended consequences and minimise the trade-offs and maximise synergies through sort of identifying best practice. So that's really what we're trying to do with the Pathways project. We've brought together sort of leading experts across Europe to sort of identify the solution space for livestock in 2050, and so where we need to be heading in terms of our policies and practices on farm as well, and sort of trying to look at things from different perspectives within a sort of environmental, economic and social assessment framework. I think the thing that really sets it apart is the fact we've got this fantastic multi-actor consortium that includes the industry as well as the scientific community. So we're engaging very actively with the industry throughout the development of the pathways and recommendations that come out from the project to make sure that the things that we're suggesting are actually realistic and achievable both on farm and at a policy level. So that regular engagement throughout the project is really key to the approach, and it will help us to have sort of realistic as well as sort of time-bound and meaningful solutions for developing resilient food systems. So the key contribution of Pathways, I think, is really the potential to learn from innovation in practice. So we're working with a range of really interesting case studies across Europe, and we can learn a host of different things from those innovators in terms of the social aspects of their innovation with regard to knowledge sharing, how farmers are going about sharing ideas, for example, but also with regard to sort of farm practices, so how farmers are improving performance through use of online apps for benchmarking, for instance, or through practices like 100% grass-fed in the beef sector. So we think learning from these really innovative case studies or practice hubs can allow us to identify some practical solutions and the sorts of conditions in which those solutions can be used throughout Europe. So looking sort of beyond their context and sort of how we can learn from those more generally. And I think the other thing the project brings, again, is this sort of industry engagement. So we have some of the leading lights in livestock on the industry side, as well as on the policy side, engaged in the project more broadly. So we have a huge potential to reach out to a very wide audience of stakeholders, and the project has real potential to sort of generate impact both within the sort of 5-year timeframe and beyond, sort of through the community of practice and the lasting legacy that the project will build through the active involvement of these partners. It's been a wonderful journey from the beginning because we developed the project through the pandemic, and despite that we've had a lot of enthusiasm from the academic and industry partners throughout, and there's a really good atmosphere in the project as well as a result. And that makes our lives as coordinators easy because people are so engaged and keen to work together and very open to have sort of collaborations and conversations around some challenging ideas. For example, whether we need to reduce livestock numbers and where that could happen. Some of these ideas are obviously challenging for some sectors, but there's a lot of openness in the project, and that's really wonderful to see. And the ideas as well from the academics being fed back to industry partners, they're also very open and willing to say, where they think there's problems or flaws in assumptions and so on. That creates a really wonderful working environment, and yeah, it's one I'm really enjoying, and I get the impression that people are enjoying it as well, which we think will lead to some very high quality outputs at the end as well. So yeah, it's been a real pleasure to be involved with, a real privilege as well to sort of be involved with some of the brightest minds in Europe in this space.